let me tell you the most ridiculous, devastating, yet oddly enlightening story of my life. This story actually goes back years. At first, everything was perfect. I trusted, I loved, and I forgave. But every time you forgive, there's a price to pay. Today, I'm here to tell you how I paid mine. Early in our marriage, I caught my husband in bed with another woman. Yes, you heard that right, in our bed. That moment felt like my whole world came crashing down. But what did he do? He said, it was a mistake. I love you, and it'll never happen again. And me, blinded by love, I forgave him. But oh, how I wish that had been the first and the last time. Everything started one morning when I saw that infamous message on his phone. Dinner plans are set with hearts. At first, I tried to brush it off. Calm down, Kaylee. Maybe it's just a coworker, I told myself. But deep down, a voice was screaming, something's not right. The next day, he told me he had a surprise for me. I've planned a weekend getaway, just the two of us, he said, holding up a small key. This is the key to our cozy little vacation home. At first, I was surprised but happy. Who wouldn't love a romantic weekend, right? When the weekend came, he suddenly claimed he had the flu and canceled the trip. Fine, I thought. These things happen. But still, something didn't feel right. I mean, you plan this last-minute getaway and then suddenly get sick? Yeah, something was definitely off. This trip had come out of nowhere, and my suspicions only grew stronger. I met with Stella, his coworker, who told me he'd been to that vacation home before, with other people. But even Stella's words weren't enough. I had to see it for myself. So I grabbed the key, went to the vacation home alone, and unlocked the door. The first thing that hit me was the cold silence. But even in that silence, the house spoke volumes. In the corner of the living room, I spotted 2 wine glasses and a half-empty bottle of wine. The artwork on the walls was carefully chosen, and the whole place radiated romance. This wasn't just some casual trip, it was meticulously planned. Then I walked into the bathroom, and that's when it all became crystal clear. On the sink were Emma's cosmetics, her perfume, her moisturizer. I recognized them immediately, because I'd seen her use them countless times. Up until that moment, I still hoped I was wrong. But there it was, staring me right in the face. In that moment, every doubt I had turned into pure rage. It wasn't just about the infidelity, it was about taking something that was supposed to be mine. That house wasn't meant for me, it was for Emma, and that was the last straw. When I walked out of that house, I knew nothing would ever be the same. My husband had chosen a stranger over me. And worse, my closest friend was complicit in it. After all this, I had to confront Stella again. She was my husband's coworker, but at this point, I felt like she knew more about my life than I did. I told her everything and demanded the truth. At first, she hesitated, but then she finally cracked. Kaylee, that vacation home. Your husband's been there before, with Emma. And suddenly, everything made sense. That so-called surprise trip wasn't for me. It was a cover-up for their affair. Every time I heard her name, I felt a strange knot in my stomach. But I never imagined it would go this far. Emma was my high school best friend, my confidant. We grew up together, laughed, cried, and shared everything. Or so I thought. But now, you see what hurt the most, right? It wasn't just his betrayal, it was hers. She would come to my house, drink my coffee, laugh with me, all while carrying this massive secret. They played their part so perfectly, and I never even saw it coming. While they were putting on their little performance, I was playing the fool. I trusted our friendship so deeply. How could she sit across from me, knowing what she was doing? And then it all came together. Stella's confession, the vacation home, everything. That house wasn't just a place, it was their hideaway. Every little detail, from the gifts to the romantic decor, was meant for her. It wasn't just infidelity, it was the betrayal of a friendship, of a bond I thought could never be broken. At that moment, I devised a plan. I logged into my husband's phone and sent Emma a message. We need to meet. At the same time, I told my husband I had arranged a romantic dinner for the two of us. But the real surprise? Emma would be joining us. The restaurant was dimly lit, the atmosphere perfect. My husband sat down, completely at ease. But when Emma walked in, oh, you should have seen his face. He froze. Right then and there, the facade crumbled. Finally, I confronted them. At the table, in front of everyone, the truth came spilling out. My husband, of course, tried his usual excuses. This isn't what it looks like. Emma couldn't even look me in the eye. Cut the crap, I said. Are you two going to explain? Or should I? That day, I realized the real confrontation wasn't with them. It was with myself. I had spent years forgiving people who didn't deserve it, but not anymore. After the dinner, I went home feeling nothing but emptiness. Everything had lost its meaning. That night, I decided I was done. I stood by the window, all my pain washing over me, and prepared to end it all. Just then, my phone buzzed. It was a message from someone I never expected. Kaylee, I love you. This world can't afford to lose someone as strong as you. That message pulled me back. In that moment, I realized this story needed to end on my terms, not theirs. Today, I'm here because I decided to be the one to close this chapter. Life goes on no matter what. And now I know some people just don't deserve forgiveness. That's my story. And remember, some secrets can't stay buried forever.